This documentary examines military deception using fake weapons. It follows a complete timeline from early decoys to modern developments. All examples are real, documented, and presented in strict chronological order. Each item explains how false weapons misled enemy intelligence. Early origins before World War II. Early 1900s, armies used wooden artillery mock-ups during training exercises. These were later observed by foreign military attachés. They established the concept of visual deception for reconnaissance. World War I introduced dummy trenches and false gun positions. Canvas, wood, and scrap metal simulated artillery batteries. Aerial photography made visual deception necessary. Between the wars, several armies tested inflatable equipment. The goal was to confuse border observers and spies. These experiments shaped later large-scale deception programs. World War II, early phase, 1939 to 1941. At the start of WWII, Britain deployed fake coastal defenses. Wooden guns and concrete shapes suggested stronger fortifications. German reconnaissance reported exaggerated defensive strength. Next, Britain created dummy airfields in southern England. Fake runways, wooden aircraft, and false lighting were installed. These diverted Luftwaffe bombing away from real bases. Then, Germany used decoy tanks during early European campaigns. Light frames and canvas were mounted on vehicles. They increased apparent armored strength without real resources. Italy deployed fake naval guns along the Mediterranean coast. Painted barrels and timber structures imitated heavy artillery. Allied intelligence misjudged coastal firepower. World War II, mid-phase, 1942 to 1943. Next, Britain formed specialized deception units. They built inflatable tanks, trucks, and artillery. These could be deployed and removed within hours. Then, Operation Fortitude preceded the Second Battle of El Alamein. Real tanks were disguised as trucks, while fake tanks were displayed openly. German forces misread British attack directions. Up next, the United States adopted inflatable armor units. Rubber tanks and vehicles were mass-produced. They were used to simulate entire divisions. Germany responded with fake aircraft on airfields. Wooden fighters and bombers were placed on runways. Allied pilots reported inflated Luftwaffe strength. Japan used decoy coastal defenses in the Pacific. Logs and bamboo structures resembled artillery positions. They aimed to deter amphibious landings. World War II, late phase, 1944 to 1945. Now, Operation Fortitude preceded the Normandy invasion. Fake armies, tanks, camps, and radio traffic were created. German command expected an invasion at Pas de Calais. Next, the US Army's Ghost Army conducted mobile deception. Inflatable equipment, sound effects, and false signals were used. Entire fronts appeared active when no real forces were present. Then, Germany built false V-weapon launch sites. These sites drew Allied bombers away from real facilities. They reduced damage to operational missile bases. Late in the war, decoy bridges were constructed. They attracted bombing while real crossings remained hidden. This preserved key supply routes. Post-war and Cold War developments. After World War II, deception techniques were formally studied. Fake equipment became part of standard military doctrine. Inflatables and radar decoys were refined. During the Cold War, both NATO and Warsaw Pact used decoy missiles. Full-scale replicas misled satellite reconnaissance. Nuclear strike assessments were deliberately distorted. Next, radar reflective decoys were developed. These simulated aircraft and ships on enemy sensors. They shifted focus from visual to electronic deception. Modern and future developments. Now, modern militaries use digital and thermal decoys. Fake heat signatures mislead infrared surveillance. Visual realism is combined with sensor manipulation. Next, unmanned decoy systems mimic aircraft and missiles. They trigger air defenses and reveal enemy positions.